You know what? I'm bored. Let's talk about superheroes. I love superhero characters. There is such an interesting dynamic of stories you can tell with them. A character who has been through a life-changing experience that then pushes them to want to fight evil and protect others who can't protect themselves. Out of all the superhero characters out there, I think the most iconic is probably Batman. Everyone knows the origin story. Bruce Wayne, young kid, born into a rich family with a huge business enterprise, and to one day see both his parents killed in front of him one night. It's an origin everyone knows, and it works well to create a compelling character. Here we have a kid who was forced to grow up fast, having no parents, basically took away his childhood. Now usually in most Batman media, I like how they touch on this story instead of recreating it. They use flashbacks or show-don't-tell storytelling to tell the story. I think a good take on this character was with Batman '89. With the almost perfect casting to the amazing music, this movie has so much love, especially with its set pieces. Before this, all we had was the Adam West Batman. Now, I love this show, but this isn't Batman. It just isn't. Batman is a dark character. I mean, look at his origin. And the way they convey this in the movie is just excellent. Michael Keaton's acting in this was great. Despite the outrage of fans when it was announced he was going to play the part, I still think he did a great portrayal of the character. He really brought his own tone to the character. Like, wow, look at this rich guy, he's so cool. But wait, there's something off about him. That's something I like about how he plays him. There's always something off with this Bruce Wayne. It's freaking weird, you know? And I love how they expertly told you everything you need to know about the character in one scene. It's just so good. The scene where Vicky spies on him. In contrast with Danny Elfman's perfect score, it's just a perfect scene. It describes the character very well. And this scene with Batman and Joker just describes their relationship perfectly.
Nice outfit.
Combined with Joker's constant insane crimes throughout the movie, it just culminates into this great big finale. It's a very interesting set piece. Danny Elfman's music really makes the scene work.
He stole my balloons! Why didn't somebody tell me that he had one of those things? Bob? Done.
I didn't like Bob anyway. But I have to say though, this is not the definitive Batman. I love this movie, but this is Michael Keaton's Batman. Or a better way of saying it, this is Tim Burton's Batman. My reasoning is this is just a different take on the character Batman. This is more in tone of what the early creation of Batman was. Batman used to be a ruthless killer who always maimed enemies. But in the comics, as time went on, he would develop into a different character. He developed a moral compass not to kill, but to bring justice to all who have been evil. I mean, the movie literally ends with him killing the Joker. Now saying this, it may seem like I dislike this movie. Far from it. It's a very fun movie. I mean, Jack Nicholson really saves it. Today I want to talk about what is considered the greatest piece of Batman media ever made, which is Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. This movie was based off the show that was coming out at the time, Batman the Animated Series, which was also coming off the success of the '89 movie. It took a lot of inspirations from the movie, taking a dark tone and a similar art style. With the success of Season 1 of Batman TAS, a direct-to-video movie was set to be made, but early in production they decided to change it to a theatrical release. They actually had to go in and change the scenes they had from the 4:3 ratio to the widescreen one following this decision. This movie was animated overseas, and honestly, there is still a higher quality look to this one. It's very nice. The movie had a planned release of December 25th, 1993, Christmas Day, and it bombed. Yeah, it turns out people didn't see this one. Maybe it had to do with the lackluster marketing.
This Christmas, for the first time, America's most exciting and legendary motion picture hero comes to the screen like you've never seen him before.
The Bat!
In an all-new, larger-than-life feature film.
Critics loved it though, and over time it would get the recognition it deserved through video sales. Over time, people would slowly begin to find this movie for what it was, and now it's very much considered a cult classic now among Batman fans.
A man has fallen into the river in Lego City. Start the new rescue helicopter. Hey!
Now, it's kind of a crime for me to talk about this movie without talking about the cast. Kevin Conroy. Kevin Conroy really understood the character in such a way I don't think other actors ever really portrayed Batman as. When I hear this voice, I hear Batman. The same can be said for Mark Hamill as the Joker. When I hear Mark Hamill as the Joker, I hear the Joker in all of his wonderful psychopathic wonderfulness. Together they created such a perfect matchup. It was such perfect casting that they got them to come back to do voices for numerous other shows and games. Now as for the movie, it opens up with some very well-aged CGI. I'm not kidding about this, it actually looks pretty nice. It's stylized in a way where it won't age too badly. It's a good, small usage of CGI. If they used it for scenes within the movie, it probably wouldn't have aged well. So the plot. This movie is about Batman trying to solve the mystery about a new villain named the Phantasm, who's going around and killing mob bosses left and right. While this is happening, he's reconnecting with a romantic interest from before he became Batman. Well, I say reconnecting, but it's mainly a bunch of flashbacks. The movie does this thing where they cycle between flashbacks of before he was Batman leading up to when he started fighting crime. I find it so cool that they show a scene of him on his first night trying to fight crime. And in the flashbacks where they show him and Andrea just having a relationship, it's just wonderful. It feels so natural. Now here's an interesting idea. The Batman in this movie has already completed his character arc. To put it into a good idea, this Batman is already a completed character. He's gone through his arc, he has grown. This Batman, on the other hand, hasn't gone through his character arc yet. He's a younger and more naive Bruce Wayne. With that, it leads us into this gut-wrenching scene. This movie loves exploring Bruce Wayne's psyche. This thought of him accepting the fact he will never feel true happiness ever again. Only to go back thinking maybe there is hope for himself. It all leads to Batman having to choose between love or his vow to his parents. And it's so amazing how they go about doing this. Of course, with tensions building up in the background with her father and the mob owing money to them, Andrea and her father must leave town. It makes it especially heartbreaking for the character as he had proposed to her just before this happened in the scene before. With Andrea's rejection to Bruce leaving only a note saying she left town with her father, he's left only to do one thing after this. From this moment, his character is complete. It really shows how even when things are the happiest, things can still go downhill. You can be the happiest person ever. Things can look as bright as ever, but sometimes that's just not the way it is. It's one of the reasons I love this movie so much. As the movie progresses, the Phantasm kills off more mob bosses, and the public thinks Batman is doing it. This leads to the lead mob boss asking the Joker for help. Interestingly, they didn't want to put the Joker in this movie. They wanted to separate this movie from the Tim Burton one as much as possible. But they put the Joker in such a perfect way, he's not the main focus, but still being a heavy integral part of the story. I just love how in the flashbacks they go to this world fair of the future, and they show how bright and beautiful everything is, a sight of how bright their future is. Only for the next time we see it, Gotham has become a cesspit. Damn, that's symbolical. Look, I'm just gonna say this, it's objectively good filmmaking, okay? So anyway, Joker gets involved, making things even more complicated. Man, this delivery, dude.
I hate that song. Gasp? Can it be? Old Sally the Weezer Valestra.
Mark Hamill's Joker is the best.
You know what I'm talking about. Your hands are just as dirty. Dirtier.
Oh, yep. Yeah, you're gonna die. What we next see is such an intense scene of police chasing Batman. They really liked using guns in the show. It's still very apparent here. Now, I'm not gonna go into spoilers as I believe everyone deserves a fair chance to see it for themselves. But I'll just say this. The climax is great. It sheds light on everything we've seen so far, and I'm gonna be honest, there was a great twist that I didn't see coming. Of course, when I watched this movie with friends, they guessed it a mile away, so either it's my casual mindset or it's just very easy to fool me. I still love it. With that, Batman Mask of the Phantasm is my favorite portrayal of the character. It really is an endearing romance mystery story. A romance story about a character who's been through so much, and it leaves a message of life going on, while also telling a story of loss and misery, No matter what happens in our lives, life goes on. Things come and go, and we grow as people. That's the spirit of this movie. It represents Batman as a character so well, to the grave scene, to the relationship with Andrea. And Andrea brings so much to it as well, props to the voice actor. And it kinda explains Batman as a character, with the way he acts, why he is who he is. It's great, and if you want to get into the animated series, this movie is by far one of the best ways. It is set up in a way where you don't have to watch the show to enjoy it. It is such an endearing movie, I love it, I don't have very many complaints about it. Other than this never being explained. Or maybe that's a positive, I don't know. With that, we are left on this final scene. Batman stands out, looking upon his city to continue being its protector. Comparatively to the Batman movies that were coming out at the time, none of them portrayed Batman quite like how this movie did, or the TV show did for that matter. This show was an innovation upon what kids' medium can be. It's the reason I love watching all ages content, seeing how far they can push things before they have to hold back. Comparing it to the Batman movies that were being made for adults, well...
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age! All right, everyone. Chill. It doesn't work on a cold-hearted. Cool party. Tonight, hell freezes over. Let's kick some ice.
The Schumacher movies anyway, it's pretty bad. With that, this was my look at the portrayal of the most iconic superhero, Batman. Batman, Mask of the Phantasm is the definitive Batman movie.